even there. Where is it? There he is. Oh my god. This has all gone wrong. Anyway, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. This man in the box is the man that we call Baby.
That's me. Hello.
Yeah, the reason Baby wasn't on the screen is because I've just decided about 5 minutes before going live, maybe we're planning to go live at 10 on the dot today, but then at about 5 to 10 I thought I'm just going to quickly move my camera off of that stationary mount onto the multi-mount where my key light sits, which just became more complex than I thought it was. Anyway, long story short, I have a camera on a movable mount now. Yay! So when I'm in the scoop, I can put myself central, but when we're doing Masters of the League, I can get more of the up and down shot, and it should hopefully work out well for us. But yeah, I decided to do that 5 seconds before going live. If anyone ever wants to do any form of broadcasting or streaming or events or anything like that, do not rip your setup 5 minutes before going live. Ever. The professionals, and we are professionals at this, will tell you to never ever do that. And yet, I've just done it. What an idiot. Anyway, how's your day going, babe?
Apparently better than yours so far. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, all right. I was about to ask you what yours is like, but I think you've reached critical mass of not being asked to even touch anything that you've currently got anymore.
I'm kind of yeah, exactly. Anyway, if you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved. As those of you that have been here before will know, and if you're new here, my name is Graham, and as mentioned, this is Bibby. We are Ice Cream, and in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is the Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. Some may say the UK's #1 video game podcast. We have those some, but it counts, it's fine. Anyway, we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on all of those stories, and we want your thoughts and impressions in return. If you're in the chat, please feel free to use your voice. Give us your thoughts and impressions. We go live each and every single weekday, so you can do that on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads at 10 a.m. ish. Oh, don't tell me the audio. Yeah, the audio is crap. It says that. Fuck's sake! 1 second. It says that. Fuck's. Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to hit the whole screen because I think I can fix it without going offline. So give us 2 seconds.
Big shitter.
How is the audio now? Is it still crackling? How is the audio? No, it's not. Yeah, fixed it, motherfucker. Nice. Well, it fixed it for me. I'm hoping it's the same for you. Anyway, I was in mid-flow then. What I was about to say is, if you're in the chat, we go live at 10 a.m. each and every single weekday. 10 a.m. ish, each and every single weekday. Fixed. Thanks, ads. What a guy.
Yay.
If you're in the chat, use your voice on behalf of those watching on demand or listening on demand a little bit later on. This will be turned into a YouTube video and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So yeah, feel free to get involved, even if it's just to tell us that the audio is bugged like it just was. Sorry for the 30-second gap. If you were listening on audio podcasts, we're back, as you can tell, because you can hear me. Anyway, good morning, Chucky. Ads dropping one of our exclusive Ice Cream Uploads subscriber emotes, and it actually has a soundbite, a live soundbite, and it sounds a little bit like this.
Hello.
There was a bit of disconnect between you actually saying it. You kind of went, your mouth moved. Wait, you saying it, and then about a second later, you went, hello. I was like, oh, okay, there we go. Anyway,
that was me breathing in, getting all the air into my lungs to project out what came out of me gob.
Oh. Nice.
Is there a delay between us?
I think so.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Okay, tell you what. Well, I'll bring the news article on screen, and then we'll both drop out of the call. So we'll jump into the first news story of the day. Let's jump into the split screen before we do that, just so we're in full-on scoop flow. So we have a number of stories for you today, and one of them isn't surprising. to see. But it's big news for us because this is a game that we do have access to. The lovely people at Square Enix have hooked us up with the code, and we will be playing it. So let's bring this up on screen. And whilst this is up on screen, I'm going to kill the call within. Nice. Baby should be back in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. All synced up fine. Anyway, the first news story of the day is that Marvel's Avengers was the most downloaded beta in PlayStation history, and the superhero game hit stores this week. Written by Tom Ivan for VGC. The article says the recent Marvel Avengers beta test was the most downloaded beta in PlayStation history. That's according to publisher Square Enix, which congratulated developer Crystal Dynamics on the achievement on Wednesday. On PlayStation, the Marvel Avengers beta ran for 3 consecutive weekends in August, with the first one reserved for pre-order customers. Marvel's Avengers will be released for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia on September the 4th, 2020. Avengers is also set to launch for PS5 and Xbox Series X later this year, and owners of the current gen version will be able to upgrade at no additional cost. Speaking
Thank you for the ice cream.
What was that? What did you say, Pip?
Yeah. I said yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It came through at the same time as Ads as host. Thank you for the ice cream. So just
Yeah.
but Ads, thank you very much for the host, dude. Speaking during a financial results briefing in August, Square Enix president Yosuke Matsuda said the company has very high expectations for Marvel's Avengers. We hope to build excitement around the title by rolling out powerful add-on content, he said. Square Enix recently detailed how cosmetics will work in Marvel's Avengers, including plans to offer a $10 battle pass called a Hero Challenge card for each post-launch hero. Kate Bishop will be the first post-launch hero when she arrives in October, followed by Hawkeye in November, and PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man will join the game in 2021. Interesting. I didn't even know about the Avengers post-launch battle passes, the $10 battle passes for each specific hero. I didn't notice that. That one passed me by. I don't think we covered that either on the scoop.
I think we have. Yeah, I think the chat wasn't too happy about it because it was going to be, like it says in the article, £10 for every character. So you get the base game, which may have like 3 or 4 or 5 characters, and then all the ones that they're going to add on is going to be an extra $10 on top of that. So it's basically like small DLC, but it's like a new campaign with each of the characters. So you're getting like a full story for $10 each time.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. That's taking the idea of a battle pass and I think getting it wrong for me. The idea of a battle pass is you get everything within the campaign. I mean, it depends. It depends on how that works in terms of how that DLC, if it's substantial, because obviously it's Hawkeye for a month and whoever the other one was. Kate Bishop will be the first hero, followed by Hawkeye. So if Kate Bishop's content is substantial for a month, because let's look at Fortnite. I mean, it is a bit land grabby because Fortnite doesn't just last a month. Call of Duty doesn't just last a month. PUBG doesn't just last a month. These are the successful battle passes that exist right now, but they last for about 2 months, 3 months, and it costs you not $10. It costs you like but it probably is about $10. $7.99 ish. Is that does that equate to $10? Maybe not quite. So it's a bit more expensive. A touch more expensive and doesn't last as long, and there will be more of them. If there's 10 heroes, that's $100 that you're going to be spending on the game post-launch, which is a big ask. $10 per month every month. And Fortnite, you can pay your $10 and stay in the system then, because the system allows you to keep recycling. You get, I think it's like 950 V-Bucks or whatever for the season pass, and you get about 1,500 every season. So you get enough for your next season pass and half to spend. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. However, I will make up my mind on that when we get more information as it comes along, and more so after we've played through the game. But it doesn't squash the fact that the beta was the most downloaded beta in the history of PlayStation. What are your thoughts on that, babe?
Yeah, I mean, well, I haven't played it. I've only watched Spike play it, and I think Summit was playing a little bit of it last night as well. So that's the only experience I've had. I don't have a copy of it myself to be able to just jump in and play. So I don't know what it's like. The battle, and is the term battle pass that they've used in there the correct term? Because from what I've seen, it looks like it's not an MMO, but it looks like a action RPG game, right? So if the first characters, and this is all purely speculation on my part because obviously I can't deep dive into the game. So I didn't play the beta. I didn't play the open beta either. Apparently, the game looked trash. It played like trash, and then it turns out that when you actually get into the storyline of the game, 5 hours into it, it turns into what people have been suggesting is very similar to Destiny. With the way that it's like a looter, not a looter shooter because it's an action RPG game, but just like a looter RPG game. But um, I don't know if the term battle pass is the correct term. If the $10 gets you a new campaign for a different character, which is maybe 25 to 30 hours worth of content. I don't know how much the content, how long the content is per character now. Just going out there on a limb and saying if it was, I don't know, 15, 20 to 25 hours worth of content, is £10 a very good price for me? Absolutely. If you end up playing an extra £100 on top of the £35 game, but you've ended up getting yourself a 300-hour game. That for me is worth every single penny, especially if the storyline's good for every single character and it's not the same. You go and doing the same missions and the same repetitive stuff every 4 or 5 missions with the character you get. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I'm going off of my experience in playing MMOs. I will pay £30 for an expansion pack on ESO every single time it comes out. Is the missions going to be the same? Pretty much. Is the storyline going to be the same? It can be hit and miss. It can be quite the same. Am I going to do the same missions? Do I need to go over there and take down 2 bosses? Do we need to go down there and pick up all the lore books? Do we need to go over there and open up all the camps? Absolutely. That is always going to be the same. But it's the way that the storyline arcs towards I don't know, is it a different boss at the end of that one? But yeah, if each hero that you get is a completely different character with new abilities and a different storyline, is £10 acceptable? I would say so, especially if you're getting like 15 to 20, 25 hours out of each character. That's again coming from someone who's an MMO player, who's got experience in paying extra on top of the game that is already paid for originally.
Be interesting to see. Is it that? Is it? Are you paying for the extra missions, the extra experiences, or are you just paying for the extra skins? Are you getting a new suit for Iron Man? Does Thor have a new fancy cape or something like that?
That's what I think they need to clarify what Battle Pass means because I don't know whether they're just jumping on the Battle Pass name so that they can call it a Battle Pass on social media. Then people will click the hashtag Battle Pass and then go through and see Fortnite, or maybe they wanted people to see Fortnite and then see this. I think they need to try and define the word Battle Pass for us because, like you said, when you're playing PUBG, your Battle Pass is to get new skins and new armors and whatever Christ is available to you for your frying pan or whatever. That for me is like new skins. A battle pass is stuff that you can unlock down the way. If it is a battle pass and you are literally just buying a new skin for the Incredible Hulk, so it turns out to be red instead of green, but you're playing the same missions, that then is a bit of a piss take.
So it turns out we didn't actually cover this article because it only came out on Saturday, and we were bank holiday weekend in. So Marvel Avengers post-launch heroes will each have a $10 battle pass. Hero challenge cards will include 40 tiers of rewards. Square Enix has detailed how cosmetics will work in Marvel's Avengers, including plans to offer a $10 battle pass called a hero challenge card for each post-launch hero. While new characters, story content, missions, and regions will be released for free, the publisher has confirmed that the title will be supported by cosmetic transactions which don't have any impact on gameplay. The 6 core heroes available at launch will each come with their hero challenge card activated, meaning players can earn content, all content across each card's 40 rewards tiers for free. Rewards include outfits, emotes, resource bundles, nameplates, takedowns, units, and credits. Units are an in-game digital currency with no real-world value. I might as well put this on the screen since I'm reading through it. With no real-world value, which can be found, earned, and spent in-game with vendors located in multiple locations. Credits are an in-game currency purchasable with real money that can be spent on cosmetic items in the marketplace, which exists outside the game's narrative. Players can buy outfits, emotes, takedowns, and nameplates in the marketplace where uncommon, rare, and epic and legendary items rotate weekly. Do you know what? I will leave it at that.
I've just clicked on that link that you're showing on the screen as well. And everything that you just explained there and the way that the menus are laid out, I can see why people have been saying they're getting a Destiny vibe from it. Because that looks like you just go into like the vendor world. I can't remember what it's called. But there's basically like a giant hub where you can go and it's just got like 40 different vendors. So if you want to get a new helmet, you go over there. If you want to get a new skin for your gun or a new gun, you go over there, kind of thing. So it's just very interesting approach.
I mean, the fact that the battle pass is just cosmetic, kind of torn because I'm thinking $10 a month every month for all of the heroes could be extremely costly. So I'm not so sure about that. But the fact that it's just cosmetics is good because it's not a case of you having to pay for DLC. So you're not getting the full game. If you pay for the game, or you're getting the game but not the extra game. So I've never been a fan of add-on DLC, which is essentially kind of part of the core storyline. So I do like the fact that so the reason we praise Fortnite is because you can buy a shitload of stuff for that game, but it doesn't stop you from playing the whole game. You can play the whole game, you just can't play it in the red guy. You have to be the blue guy unless you buy the red guy, and that sort of thing. So I don't mind the fact that it's just cosmetics, but I'm not sure. I think the pricing is off. $10 a month. Every month. Not every kid is going to have $10. And if you can't get Hawkeye in November, does Hawkeye disappear? Do you not get the chance to get it in December if you have the money then, or so on? So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I am still interested to play the game though. Did you say you didn't play the beta?
No, I actually applied on Arsenal GG using my Twitch account, and it got rejected instantly because I haven't used it for 2 years.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the beta, and I'm trying to think of obviously Marvel's Avengers is a hyped game. We're at the end of a generation, so we have massive market saturation. Everyone has a PS4 almost, or everyone that wants one would get one has one by now. So there's a lot of people that have PS4, so that will naturally account to the fact that it was a hugely downloaded beta. We're still in lockdown. That will account to the fact that it's a hugely downloaded beta. Marvel's Avengers, huge game, a huge brand across the MCU and into games. Obviously, that will account for the fact that it will have been the most downloaded beta. But also the beta itself, I believe if you finished the beta, was it like Hulk smash your hands, like pickaxe kind of things? There was a Fortnite crossover. If you finish the game, you got something in Fortnite. So all of the stuff that makes it popular anyway, plus the fact that even if you're not asked for it, you can download a free game, play through a free game to carry on playing your Fortnite if you're just a kid that wants to get extra skins in Fortnite. All that kind of comes together. So long story short, if you want to be successful in video games, release the game during a pandemic and have a tied Fortnite. Job's a good one. Easy done. There you go. I've marketed every game ever for the rest of the time. You're welcome.
And you just give that away for free.
Fuck! I should have I'd like a DLC add-on for $10 a month in a battle pass.
Or one Twitch Prime. If you have a free Twitch Prime, there you
go. Speaking of Twitch Primes, September, by the way, if you are going to sub to a channel, even if it's us or anyone else, whoever you're going to sub to, cancel your sub. So, say if it's Ice Cream, for example, and your sub is due to renew on the 8th, make sure you go into Don't Auto Renew. That way, when you drop the sub on a channel, you can get access to the 20% discount of September. Just saying, I'm saving you money. I mean, we get the same money either way, whether you do it or not. But for you, if you cancel your ongoing subscriptions and then restart it, you get the 20% discount as a new subscriber to a channel. So, wink, wink. Just saying. And if you do want to subscribe to Ice Cream Uploads, if you subscribe for 6 months, it only costs you 20 quid, not 30 quid. I'm just saying that as well. But yeah, make sure you do it. Well, even if it's us, wherever, do it. I only found that out by someone shared it on Twitter saying, you can actually, it's something like for your first sub on a new channel, or your first new sub on a channel. But yeah, cancel existing subs and you can get the next sub for 20% off. There you go. Asim says, I wanted to oh, good morning, Mr. T, by the way. I wanted to like this Avengers, but unlike Spider-Man and the Batman games, just to make me feel like that I was a superhero, combat made it feel very much throwaway. Something about the melee combat focus that didn't click with me. That said, I know many people are enjoying it, so shrugs. See, I don't know. I'm not really equipped to comment. I treated this game as I've treated all of the Marvel films. I'd watch Batman not spoilers, trailers, and I have done because I've been burned too many times since the Dark Knight trilogy to care really about the Batman films. I think I'm not that bothered, so I'll watch the trailers. Whereas the Marvel films, I've been hyped up so many times that I don't watch the trailers for fear of spoilers, even though they're wised up towards the end and put extra content in trailers and so on. So I treated the game like this, thinking, oh, this could be top notch. I watched the E3 presentation on the bridge like last year or whatever it was, and I've not really watched anything since. I'm trying to keep away from people playing the game, so we dropped a raid on Spike yesterday, and then I just bugged out the stream because I didn't want to see any of it. So I don't really know what to take. So I'll come back to you on that one. I'll let you know what I feel. But yeah, I mean, that does kind of make sense. If you're a superhero, you want to kind of feel like a superhero. If you just ended up just as a brawler, then is it the same? But yeah, I will let you know. I will let you know. Like I said, we got a code on the ice cream account through Arsenal.gg because unlike Babe, we do stream every day and have a stream. So we do have a code. We will play some of it probably this weekend, actually. So yeah, we'll let you know our impressions. Obviously, our opinions aren't paid for. The game is being given to us free by Square Enix, but our opinions are paid for, so we can be open and honest on that. So yeah. I am looking forward to playing it though. It does look like something that even if it doesn't stick with me, if it is as Asim says, then it does look like a game that I could pick up, smash the shit out of people, enjoy, and then kind of put down. But we'll see. We will see. So yeah, Marvel's Avengers, the most downloaded beta in the history of PlayStation. A big title to take away. Anyway, speaking about well-downloaded games in PlayStations, do you have this one, babe? There we go. Do you have Rocket League?
I do. I have Rocket League, yes.
Nice. Well, if you were lucky enough to get a PS4 very early on, Rocket League was one of the first free PS Plus games out there. That obviously only lasted for a month, and I think it has come back or has been free since then, like in certain small boosts or whatever. But more often than not, you would have to pay Rocket League. It's not expensive, but you have to pay for it. However, it is changing. Rocket League is going free to play, and when it does, it won't require PS Plus or Switch Online. This is written by Stephany and Nunneley for VG247, and the article says, you will no longer need to use PlayStation Plus or Switch Online to play Rocket League when it goes free to play. Psyonix has announced that Rocket League players will no longer need to have a subscription to PlayStation Plus or Switch Online to play the game online. The news was announced in a recent blog post on the official website. Rocket League is going free to play this summer, and the core gameplay will remain the same, but the menus will be refined. An update on current platforms will be rolled out in the next few weeks, around mid-September, and the launch of free-to-play will follow shortly after. Once the game goes free-to-play, you will be able to bring your inventory, Rocket Pass progress, and competitive rank to any platform where you play the game by using your Epic Games account. It will release on Epic Games Store on PC the same time it goes free-to-play, and once that occurs, it will no longer be made available for purchase on Steam. This version will feature cross-platform play anywhere you play, including between the Epic Games Store and Steam. Anyone who's played between now and when it goes free to play will be rewarded with legacy status and receive some additional items. Do you know what? I've completely missed this as well. So you can play Rocket League platform free to play, and it does that using your Epic Games account. Interesting.
So this is a weird one for me because on PlayStation and on Switch, is Fortnite free to play? I know it's free to play, but do you have to be signed up to PlayStation Plus or Nintendo Online to be able to play them? Because I'm fairly certain that you do.
No. On PlayStation, you do not need PS Plus. On Xbox, you need Xbox Live.
Right. Okay, that's where my confusion was then, because how can PlayStation allow a game to be able to be played because it's free to play without having to use the online service? Because surely that's how the PlayStation would make their money, or Nintendo would make their money.
Yeah.
Because people will need to play, especially when Fortnite's like the biggest game in the world, and PlayStation are making nothing from it, barring obviously a scalp off the top of people buying cosmetic items or season passes or battle passes, whatever they want to call it.
It's probably, I don't know, maybe there's a larger share of that. So say if a game launches with a fee, PlayStation take a cut of that, and then obviously people play their PS Plus. I'd imagine maybe there's some sort of differentials in terms of if you have a free-to-play game, PlayStation may take a larger percentage of in-game transactions to cover the cost of that. Maybe not. Maybe they just think, okay, well, it's free-to-play. Then free-to-play has proven to quite often generate more money than an actual predefined cost. So
Yeah.
PlayStation might just be like, actually, we actually get more money from that anyway, so we welcome free to play. Don't tell everyone that because then people will just start not, using PS Plus. Fuck. But yeah, maybe it could be that. But yeah, interesting. I mean, the Epic Games side of it, the fact that it's going to Epic Games is. Has it been bought out? What's happening there? I don't know what's happening there. That sounds bizarre. It sounds. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming that's something to do with. I mean, what engine does the Psyonix use for Rocket League? Is that
Christ
Unreal?
knows.
Do you know? I'm going to Google it. Rocket League engine, because if that is Unreal Engine, it could just be a case of we've spoken about. No, I'm searching for Unreal Engine. That's not one. Rocket League engine. Multitask fail. Yeah, Rocket League is using Unreal Engine. There you go. So it's on UE3. So I imagine that Rocket League is obviously made by Psyonix. Psyonix has made Rocket League into a world-class game with a huge following, but Psyonix isn't necessarily a massive developer. So with that in mind, we spoke about previously Epic, should I say, as developers have provided a package as engine developers have provided a package for game developers in the fact that if you have Unreal Engine, you can get access to Epic's cross-party, cross-platform functioning. So the lobby system that exists in Fortnite, being able to jump into a party with people on multiple platforms, being able to chat and send friend requests and do all of that stuff within your Epic Games account. Epic have said that they've made all of that software that makes Fortnite really good and really accessible across multiple platforms available to anyone that develops on Unreal Engine. So I imagine that's what this is. Rocket League is on UE3. I imagine Psyonix will be jumping to UE5, and with that, the jump to next generation have gone, do you know what? We might as well go all in with Epic and use their lobbies, their cross-platform gameplay and stuff to give us access to a much bigger, wider audience, share the user pool, and yeah, we have to turn Steam off at that point in time. But yeah, it's a kind of jump. I mean, a lot of people that have the game on Steam anyway. Do you know if you want the game on Steam, jobs are good. It won't. I'm assuming that it's not going free to play before. Yeah, it says you can purchase it on Steam. It will no longer be made available for purchase on Steam. So I'm assuming once it's got, the version. So yeah, it looks as if Epic will have the free to play version. Anyone that has it previously on Steam will be able to play, but in the jump to using all of Epic's technology, it means that they have to kind of take it down off Steam. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the game's probably reached critical mass at this point, hasn't it? I imagine why most games end up going free to play. Not straight off the bat like Fortnite obviously did, but the likes of PUBG now going onto PlayStation Plus. It's like they've technically sold probably as many as they probably ever could do now on the PlayStation. So they're giving it away for free and then hoping that people will jump into the game and buy the battle pass like I did and then play it for 3 days.
Yeah, yeah. It is. I wonder if there's it's not just a case of market saturation for now. I wonder if there's steps for planning for the future there as well. Because if you're going to from UE3, I mean, it works fine, well and good, but there's not really much more you can do with Rocket League apart from boost the textures. And if you're going to boost the textures, then you might as well make use of ray tracing and all of the jazz that comes in UE5. The what were they called? Nanite and Lumen. So the lighting and the texture engines. You might as well make use of all of that stuff. So yeah, if they kind of saturated the current generation in the move to next generation and using Unreal Engine, it could even be a move to get Rocket League out as a launch title or soon after launch title for next gen on next gen level graphics, and by using Unreal Engine and Epic's facilities gives them a way to do that much quicker and much easier. It will mean that it's probably not going to come to iPhones. So yeah.
Yeah. See, my brother is obsessed with Rocket League. That is literally the only game that he plays. He says he's one of the best in the world. I know he's talking out of his ass. I would actually like to see where he is, because he does chat a lot of shit. But he is ridiculously good at that game as well, though. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was actually doing quite well on it.
Oh, just changing my camera angle slightly. No, wrong way. That way. Yeah, more central. There we go. Nice. Speaking of brothers and Rocket League, David says that's going to annoy my mate. He bought it for me, him, his brother, and another friend a few weeks ago when it was an offer on Steam. Yeah, well, it could be worse. You could be me and ask people to play PUBG with you forever, and then people buy it last month for £8, and then it goes free this month. So yay! Shout out to Shogun Ash Live, by the way, on Twitch. Just saying he was one of those. Ad says before end of summer. Is that when it's coming out? Is that what it is? Ad says I'm ranked 70th in the world on 1v1 currently. Had a 32 win streak. Really? Are you? Is this an ads comment or is this an ads comment? I don't know. Chapper says, gotta admit, I am so bad at Rocket League. I can beat newbies because I can track the ball well and stuff, but I can't aerial. Yes, free before the end of summer. Okay. Yeah. See, I'm good at Rocket League until I play someone that's good at Rocket League. So same thing. I can track the ball. You can understand how to do jumps and like when I say like ground aerials. What I mean by that is jump and use your boost in the air to hit a ball in the air. That's about 3 foot away from you. But you see people that like drive up a wall, fall off backwards, do a boost across the fucking map, and then knock a ball into the top corner like they're bending it like Beckham, and you're just like,
that is literally my brother.
Yeah, it's filth. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but your brother's plugged in a USB stick with
True
all
that.
the cheats and stuff. So
True that.
David says, at least you're out in India trying to play PUBG Mobile. That's true. The funny thing, we don't have, I don't think we have that on our stories. No, we don't. We don't have that on our stories today. But one of the stories that came yesterday is that India has banned a number of Chinese apps for security fears. And one of those is PUBG Mobile. So PUBG Mobile is a massive game in India as well. So that will be a massive blow to PUBG. But the reasoning for that is Tencent, I believe. Tencent is a Chinese-owned company, and Tencent have a huge controlling share in PUBG Corporation. So they've blocked PUBG because Tencent, obviously Chinese firm, that's where the security risk is. Anyway, the second biggest battle royale / mobile game in India is a game called Free Fire, or Garena Free Fire. Garena is the developer, as far as I'm aware. I've never actually played it. Anyway, Garena Free Fire was always behind PUBG, but the fact that PUBG has been pulled will mean that Free Fire gets massive. Guess who Free Fire's #1 shareholder is? Tencent! Yay! Good plan. Let's go. Tencent pretty much own everything in world media, films, games, TV shows, the president of the United States probably, because he's dodgy as fuck. But yeah, it'll be back, and if not, there'll be people finding ways to work around it. Even just like doing, can you even VPN on a mobile? I mean, you've got a mobile that's not an iPhone, so
yes, you can.
Nice. So you get people doing stuff like that to get past it, no doubt. Chapter says, yeah, I'm same level as you then, G dude. Those better are hackers. What? Those better are hackers anyway.
What? Oh, those that are better are hackers anyway.
Yeah.
Missing a few words out.
There we go. And the worst thing is, he's watching a mobile, I'm guessing, so it'll be about 20 seconds before he corrects it as well now in the chat. But we got there eventually. Cheers, chap. Ad says you got me. I'm a hacker. True debt. What's the link? Did you?
So that's my brother's link to his YouTube, to his
mute
Rocket League video. Yeah, mute it. Yeah, he's just got some cheesy music going on.
It
does sound copyright.
Includes paid promotion. Has he been paid for this?
Yeah. He's just the 14-year-old kid that just sees everybody else doing it, so he wants to do it himself.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's gone. Oh, memes.
I don't understand why he's put like Vladimir Putin walking out for 10 seconds. It makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, I've never quite seen. I don't pay attention to Rocket League at all. Really, I did when it first came out, but then as soon as people started flying up walls and stuff like that, I thought I'm never going to get the hang of this. I'm going to dip. So 1v1 with someone who isn't flying around the walls is probably an enjoyable game for me. But as it stands, like it's not that kind of thing.
Thing is, like, some of these look well planned, but like some of them, it's just like the balls just hit you. You can take credit for that. Get out of here. But yeah, no, that's too much verticality for me. I'm an old man. I'm not going to understand. I mean, I know back, forwards, left, and right. I don't know up and down as well. God. Iceman, good morning. Says, well, they are major shareholder for Activision Blizzard. Yeah. I love how the topic bar blocks the channel name. Do you know? Get out of here! No advertising for you.
Yeah, Max, you ain't getting no free advertising here, lad.
I'm going to open that up because I want to see it. That's quality. And okay.
No one gets handouts, especially my brother.
Ad says your brother's a legend. What the feck is that emote? Starlet W. Kick W. Anyway, Rocket League is going free to play. It will be available on PC, consoles, and you don't need PS Plus or Switch Online to play it. You can, from the sounds of it, no longer get it on Steam once it does go free to play. But you know, it is what it is for the free to play. If anyone wants it on Steam, you still have time to get it. You've got to pay for it, but once it's free to play, the reason it's going free to play is because of the benefits that Epic gives it. So some people might be pissy and moaning the fact that it's going free to play and not on Steam, but Epic and everything that comes with that is going to be part of the reason why it can go free to play. So there we go.
If you've got anything to say about it, literally just go and hoover up the noobs. That's what a lot of people wait for the PES Lite to go live and then start complaining about all these new people playing it and then go and beat them 7-0 to go and get their win streaks going. But yeah, do exactly the same on that. You won't regret it.
Me on PUBG. Just noob killer.
Yeah. Wait for it to go free to play and then just hoover up the noobs.
There was a YouTube video I saw a while back of a guy playing PUBG. And if anyone's played PUBG, the worst weapon on the game after the revolver pistol is
Fed up with the ump.
No, it's the crossbow. Because it takes about 6 weeks to load the bolt, and then you fire it, and it obviously is not a bullet. It doesn't just keep going forever, or it has like very, very fast arrow drop, not bullet drop, but arrow drop. Anyway, there was a guy who made a video called Noob Hunter, and he was like commentating it like he was Steve Irwin, like full on like Australian accent, like, hey, you've got a fucking noob. I don't even know what accent I was going for there. I'm going to stop just because I'm going to probably do 3 or 4 accents and offend many people. But anyway, yeah, full on Aussie accent, and gets like second place just using the crossbow, because it was like when PUBG went like full release kind of thing out of beta or something. So there was just people didn't know what they were doing. Anyway, that's where I feel like play PUBG at the moment. Get kills all over the place. Yeah. I can't even beat noobs on PES 20, says ads. Hashtag scripted.
Well, after giving me a load of shit on FIFA, you couldn't beat me either, so who's the noob there? There's no scripting involved. Just world-class plays by this guy.
Yeah, damn right. That's what we do. Ad says, I miss Irwin. Did you get rid of him? If you did, unlucky. I've had him like 3 times. He's maxed out and I've just sat there on my team because I don't play my club anymore because me and Baby are too busy managing Ice Cream Uploads FC. So
genuinely, one of the nicest blokes I think I've ever met, Dennis Irwin.
Yeah. And he sent Chloe for a Chloe, and that's a different person. Sent Show for a chalk ice. So yeah.
Yeah. Levels and then gets done.
Steve Irwin, you double. All right. You can't. That's an absolute like breakneck switch. Talking about beating noobs in PES 20, and then I miss Irwin. I was like, fuck, I know I'd mentioned it, but God. Okay, fine, I'll let you off. For that. Anyway, let's move ahead. Next bit of news. Ubisoft's original The Division is currently free to download and keep on PC. Plus, DLC and Season Pass discounts until next week. Written by Matt Wales for Eurogame. The article says, Ubisoft celebrated online shooter The Division, the 2016 original, not its 2018 sequel, clarification fans, is currently free to download and keep on PC. The Division, if you're unfamiliar, casts players into the snow-covered streets of Manhattan, now a quarantine zone following a viral pandemic, in order to help restore order, all of which sounded considerably more fanciful back in 2016. What follows is an open-world action RPG that bolsters its thrilling third-person cover-based shooting of both the PvE and PvP variety, with all the loot, loadouts, perks, and XP you'd expect to be showered in with in an online-focused game these days. And it's good. What started solidly, Martin called The Division a vast, scrappy yet endearingly ambitious adventure in his original review, evolved considerably following its launch thanks to Ubisoft and developer Massive Entertainment continued efforts, and the game still has a decently sized following some 4 years on, despite the arrival of its aforementioned sequel. And now, those wishing to breathe in New York's crisp winter air with friends in Tokyo can download and keep the Division's base game for free on PC. Interested parties simply need to log into the appropriate Uplay page before Tuesday, the 8th of September. Additionally, players can take advantage of Ubisoft's sizable DLC and Season Pass discounts, with the promotion wrapping up on the same day. In short, Ubisoft has gone, shit, we've got a promotion, let's give them an old game for free and get them to buy the DLC. Job's a good one.
Fantastic game as well, I might add. Brilliant game. Played the shit out of it originally when it came out on the PlayStation 4, along with Willis and Mike. Fantastic game. The fact that it's come out for free now as well. If you haven't played it, the best way to play it, I think, would be on the PC, as is keyboard and mouse. But yeah, fantastic game. I didn't get any of the DLCs, so that's interesting. But I don't think you can move your account over from PlayStation to PC anyway. So I won't be doing that anytime soon.
Apparently you're a jammy fucker on FIFA.
No, it's a jammy. If a jammy fucker's winning like 3-1, then sign me up.
Tito, good morning. Mr. Jim Butters, how's the muscle moose treating you this morning? Good morning. I like the Division, but was massively disappointed as they made it out to be something totally different than what it actually was. Still, I enjoyed it. I've never played it. Whenever I hear Steve Irwin, I always hear the Stingray theme tune. Ouch. So it's not as bad. It's not as bad as Chapper's Duffy comment yesterday. I just went out wandering around Salford yesterday and just felt I needed to apologise to random people for that. I was just like, I'm sorry. I apologise for the mercy comment, and everyone was like, huh? But yeah. Wow, just turned Iconic Moments Maradona into a trainer for Legend Maradona and didn't even get him to level 2.
Oof.
And yet, a 79 rated left wing forward got him from level 1 to level 3. Things
This
love to
is-
see.
this is the way you need a soundboard on your stream deck there. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, actually, one second. Do you know, I'll do one for you. I've got yeah. So Iceman just turned Iconic Moments Maradona into a trainer for Legend Maradona and didn't even get him to level 2.
I have no idea what's just been played.
Unlucky.
What was it?
It was the sad violin meme music.
All right. I say I don't hear any of that, so I'm in the dark.
Tito says Division 1 was fun. E3 trailer was a massive, pun intended, lie, but still fun. They've pretty much killed the franchise with the second one, though. Really? Is the second one that bad?
I like the second one. I've got the second one still installed. I still think it's a good game.
Bibby thinks all games are good games. If they are dog shit.
That says a lot, though, doesn't it? It says a lot. If I think an incredibly shit game is a good game, how bad are the games that if I say that they're shit? Like, how shit are those games? Captain Tsubasa, that's one. I watched a review last night for the game on Switch, and I thought, do you know what? I'll watch it, see what it's like. I know it's not going to be for me, but I'll watch it anyway. I'll never get that 10 minutes back of my life.
I watched Enix play the other day, and I'm sat there thinking, I don't get why Bib doesn't like this, because it's football and it's RPG. Like, Bibby's like fucking like Captain Skyrim 27,000 MMORPGs later, and he plays PES and FIFA and whatever beyond anyone else's imagination. So merge them together. That's an absolute Bib seller. Nope. No thanks.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you what it is. I don't know whether or not it's because I know it's not a football game. It's an RPG storytelling game. It's basically a comic book that you get into certain scenarios in the game, and then it's just a random number generator. So, for instance, you can keep on peppering the net with shots, and then the goalkeeper's spirit level will drop down to the bottom, then it's a 50-50 chance whether or not the goalkeeper's going to catch the ball, because he can still catch the ball, but then it'll go through his hands into the back of the net after pressing like a combination on your controller. Like, people say that PES is scripted. Have a look at that game and tell me that PES is scripted. It's just not for me. It looks like a shambles of a game, but hey, it's not aimed at me. So what do my opinions matter?
I hear the stats of the players are good, particularly the goalkeeper's balance, because he's got a spirit level.
I apologize to absolutely everybody.
You said the word spirit level, I was like, what? Ad says, Afalabe is greater than any other player on PES. I will take your word for that. You've clearly not seen Alexander Isak in the Masters of the League. Oh, you have. You have many times. Just got a brace in the last game. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Should have had an assist as well, but Karamoko Dembele came from a mediocre club, and we still haven't got all of that out of him yet. So he managed to fluff a gilt-edged chance. Whatever. If you want to see Masters of the League, by the way, the next episode will be back on. We are doing Friday, aren't we? Right?
Yeah, Friday, yeah.
And then when are we not?
And then we got Monday, and then for the rest of that week, I am in Blackpool.
Seeing
So
the
we've got
illuminations.
Friday and the Monday.
It's good to see the sights, play with some sand and some number plates or whatever else washed up on the beach. Jimbo says, Tito, I agree. E3 made out that it was pure PvP, but it just wasn't. I was so sad that it was just PV, and the only PvP bit I used that loosely was terrible.
The Dark Zone was horrific. If you went in even slightly under armored, then you just get absolutely slaughtered. I agree with that. The Dark Zone should have been much bigger, and it should have been a much it should have been much bigger for a start, and then much bigger in terms of that's what it should have been aimed at. Like, having that multiplayer side should have been much better. But yeah, the Dark Zone was a bit west.
Yeah. I'll buy it, your doorball, says Ads. I'm assuming he's talking about Captain Tsubasa.
Absolutely not.
David says, boo, you suck. I'm assuming he's talking about Bib just in general, and not my pun. Cheers, David. It's a bit harsh, but whatever. Anyway, Tito says, second one was average. Visually, it looked good, but had none of the soul of the first. Overrun by cheats in the PvP, which they botched and have dropped pretty much all support for. They have issues with the loot that haven't fixed for 18 months after release. They started working on the Division 2 right after the Division 1 release, and they brought most of the big bugs over. And Ad says, Bib is leaving us again. You're fired. He's actually leaving to do like proper work. Is going to be in the studio. Which the irony is, most of our broadcasts came from the studio, and now the fact that Bib is going back to the studio, we won't be able to broadcast Masters of the League.
Yeah, pretty much that. So I'm leaving my new home studio to go and work in the bigger studio, which is going to have a better internet apparently, and it all rewired. So that's interesting.
We will see. Other things we will see is a new game from No Man's Sky Dev, apparently. Let's have a look at that. Nice tangent there, Graham. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Great way.
So Andy Robinson of VGC says No Man's Sky Dev is working on a huge, ambitious new game, but it's not a sequel, says Murray. Hello Games is working on a new project described as a huge, ambitious game like No Man's Sky. Speaking in a new interview with Polygon, studio founder Sean Murray confirmed the unannounced game wasn't a sequel to No Man's Sky, neither a small title like the just-released adventure game The Last Campfire. I had worked at EA before I started Hello Games, and we'd just done lots of sequels. Murray said, everything that I worked on was the sequel to something. I found that a bit of a depressing thing in some ways. It was part of the reason for moving. I mean, I don't know if that's meant to be an absolute slap, but that is. Every game I worked on was depressing, so I left. Nice. So Hello Games is now made up of 26 people, Murray said. Just 3 of them worked on The Last Campfire, while the remaining 23 are split between supporting No Man's Sky and working on the next big Max project. While Murray would not reveal details on the new game, he said he had learned plenty of lessons from No Man's Sky, which received a mixed reception at release following years of marketing and hype, but eventually grew a large fan base following continued improvements via updates. And then quote within the article says, there is this poison chalice or deal with the devil that I think any indie game developer would find actually a very difficult choice, right? The choice that we had with No Man's Sky, where if I was to go back again, I would find it very difficult to know what the right path was. where you will have incredible interest in your game. You will have a huge amount of excitement for it, but you will be in a rocket ship launching towards the sun, and you will be building that rocket on the way up. He added, and there is an excitement and a craziness to that, where we've ended up with the game where we have hundreds of millions of hours played and a really happy community and all of that kind of thing. I'm okay with that deal that we did, right? Basically, long story short, is saying when you have a game that's successful or hyped for success, you could be successful in terms of sales, but if it's not on par, then you basically, like, as an indie developer, you don't have all of the resources, so you have to kind of promise and then build towards the promise and deliver, hope that you can deliver, which they didn't quite do with No Man's Sky, but they've clearly gone above and beyond with that, because how many other developers have had pizza support for them,
and billboards outside the gap.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of them coming out and potentially getting onto a new game, I think they've probably won a lot of trust from the people who have supported them right the way throughout. Because I can't imagine everybody dropped the pad when No Man's Sky came out after they'd promised a lot and then delivered not even a tenth of that. I think the trust will come from their timelines. Like they surely must know now that coming out and saying that we're going to have all of this, then it coming out and having none of it is obviously going to be a bad move and a way to piss off every single person. Like, this game became one of the bargain bin games in like the first month. You could go to most video game outlets and then you'll find that game in there for £5 or £10 when it was £40 the week before. So I think they've realised themselves that having a clear-cut timeline and promises along the way, people will give them the benefit of the doubt this time because they know that they're going to deliver something decent. Just hopefully not 5 years later or however long the game's been out. Is it 2016? Maybe it came out, so 4 years ago. I think they've got the relationship now with their community, and the community will cut them a little bit of slack, providing that they hit the first timeline announcement properly, and they don't end up taking 4 years to sort the game out again.
I mean, that's the deal with the devil, the poison chalice. That's can't remember his first name, but Murray was talking about in that. Sean Murray. What he was talking about in there is E3. You get your game featured in a conference. Some indie developers are creating titles that just transcend the indie genre. What to say about that is indie tends to be something that is limited by definition. If you're an indie title, you have limited funds, you have limited resources, you have limited staff, you have a limited budget to create what you want to create. So you have to cut corners, and not necessarily cut corners in a bad way, but you have these things that you can't do. And quite often, because you're having to think in such a creative way as an indie developer, you can create something that is technically restricted, but offers something completely new, a perspective that transcends indie and then becomes mainstream. I mean, like, look at Minecraft. Minecraft is essentially an indie game that's gone because it was something different. It was Lego, but digital, but not Lego, but what's definitely Lego, but not Lego. So that kind of went there. No Man's Sky had that moment at E3 2016, whatever it was, 2015, where people were seeing where people were seeing someone go from being on foot into a banging and stuff going on outside. People were seeing someone going from being on foot into a spaceship, up into space and back, and having that transition of being able to do that in an indie game. What the hell is this? This is amazing. And then seeing the creatures and the majesty of each different planet and stuff like that. That was the deal with the devil, because they'd got something that was clearly attention-grabbing enough for it to be featured in an E3 conference, and then attention-grabbing enough for it to then go bigger outwardly. When you watch an E3 conference, how many times do you watch montages of like other games where you just think, ugh. So you might watch a Sony or an Xbox conference, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then there's always 3 or 4 games that just doesn't tickle your fancy. But then, like, one of them just goes, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that. That absolutely shit hot. I mean, I'm trying to find a list now of what was in some of the previous conferences, like that Teardown. That was the Lego sort of crossover game that was in the opening night live conference the other day. That's a low budget kind of game, an indie sort of game that's caught my attention. Whereas No Man's Sky did that with everything, and as a result, they were asked for shitloads of interviews and meetings and give us more information about what's coming and what's coming and what's coming. But when you've got a team that hasn't really done that before, and you've got a team of like 26 people they have now, they probably had even less than that then. So a team of less than 20 people, most likely, working on a game that's got global appeal. They're probably all doing 3 jobs each to make sure it can get out. And the developers just haven't had the right conversations with the marketing dudes. And the marketing dudes saying, yeah, of course you can go and meet your friends in space. And yeah, actual real-life bottles of hooch and Bacardi Breezes are available in-game. Yeah, of course they are, mate. And then when it actually turns around to it, actually, those bits weren't true. There are drinks in-game. It's not hooch or Bacardi Breezer. There is other players in-game, but you can't actually meet up with them. The hooch and Bacardi Breezer or other drinks are actually not in the game. I'm joking there, by the way. But the fact I read something on it. It wasn't necessarily that they were trying to lie and missell. It was that they were basically noobs. They were trying to kind of get the point across, and they'd not had the briefing, the PR sort of briefing of how to describe it externally before that point in time. Which I think is why they kind of got off with it, because they went, do you know what? We didn't mean to lie. We're just very new at this. so sorry. So everyone just kind of was like, oh, go on then. We'll give you the time and the benefit. And No Man's Sky did what Anthem probably will never do. It saved itself. I say probably. There's a good chance that Anthem could do if they do it right. They could relaunch as a next gen game. But No Man's Sky relaunched on the same gen, on the same platform, to the same customers, which nobody ever does. And as we're saying, their community turned around so much that they bought a billboard. We've covered this many times before. Bought a billboard in London directly across from the office to say thank you for working on the game and delivering what they wanted. The community did a whip round to say thank you to the developer. I mean, imagine that. And then that's where the pizzas and the drinks came from. The money that was left after buying the billboard, they bought shitloads of drinks and pizzas and sent them to the office so that they could celebrate, which is incredible. Mr. Butters says, I wonder if the new game by No Man's Sky people will be an actual game and not lies. It wasn't lies, it was misunderstandings from noobs. Even though they did sort the game out, but I think the devs have now lost a lot of faith. But let's see if they've actually learned. I mean, they haven't lost faith in their community. You are right. They have lost faith in terms of the wider community. A lot of people will have picked up No Man's Sky, and a lot of people picked up No Man's Sky and took it back. Because they weren't interested or asked for their money back. And a lot of people won't have actually gone back on that, but a lot did. A lot of people, and I know people that went out and rebought it after selling it, trading it in because they wanted to try the new stuff. So they have learned from what we can see. It's just whether they actually learn that from a release cycle. But yeah, I think they've got enough further to be able to build on that. I don't think they're too scared. It's not an Anthem situation, definitely.
Yeah.
Iceman says, insert, oh shit, here we go again. If someone wants to edit that up, where get like Bibby strolling into Grove Street, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Ad says, No Man's Sky is an amazing game. Hopefully they don't get flooded mid-development this time, says David. Did they get flooded as well? I mean, that's probably not going to help, there's that. Someone's hunted you down for that horrid pun. Which one? I mean, take your pick. I don't know. You have to specify. There's so many of them.
Which episode?
Well, listening to you, my comment seems daft. And it's a good comment, though. It's a good comment. Not many people know about the billboard and stuff like that. So they have... that's what I'm saying in terms of you turned your back on the game, and that's a valid comment because you have turned your back on the game, just like a lot of people turn their back on the game. I was never really interested in it. The last one, it pushed them over the edge. What? I don't know what the last one was. Yeah, you turned your back on the game, just like I mean, I never turned my front on it. I was always kind of like not bothered by it, but I would have turned my back on it just like anyone else. And so much so, I didn't know that until we were covering it for a story for something else, where we found out No Man's, I think it was some like special edition of No Man's Sky or something, and it was only within that I realised that they'd done such a good turnaround for it. But if you aren't aware of that, then there'll be shitloads of people that aren't aware of that will think they've just done a bad job anyway. So that is a PR thing that they are going to have to rectify. So yeah, definitely not a daft comment. It's a different POV, which a lot of people will have traded it in and just not given it a second chance. So they'll have a hard time of winning those rounds, especially if it's a very similar game, but not a sequel. but very similar. A lot of people, if a game was a massive letdown, overpriced and didn't deliver, then the last thing you'd want is something very similar. But even if it has been fixed and you're not aware of that, you're just going to think, well, more of the same. No, thank you. So, yeah, that's the PR stuff that they will have to work on. PR obviously was what let them down leading up to launch. That said, did PR let them down leading up to launch? Because if they'd have said what they said, if they'd have said what the game was, would it have done as well? And if they hadn't promised what they'd promised, would they have ever got to that point? So by saying that and going through that backlash, would No Man's Sky have ever reached the heights that it did? So yeah, one of those questions of, it's like, what's the Oracle in the Matrix where she's like, don't worry about the vase, and he turns around and goes, what vase? And then knocks it over and smashes it, and she's like, oh, what's going to break your noodle later on is, would you have smashed it if I've said it? It's like, so would the game ever got that good if they hadn't have said that it would have got that good? Did they lie it into existence? God knows, I don't know. But yeah, David says, if you want to see a funny but factual background to the game, watch the Internet Historian's video on it.
I love the Internet Historian. A good guy.
It's not Ice Cream Uploads, though, is it? If you want to go to YouTube, then you might as well check out youtube.com/Ice Cream Uploads. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll do an episode on it.
You'll do what?
I said I'll do an episode on it.
Yeah. Speaking of episodes, we done. That is the news for today. A bit of a recap for those of you that didn't catch us right at the beginning. Marvel's Avengers was the most downloaded beta in PlayStation history. The game is out on Friday this week, and we will be playing some Ice Cream Uploads this weekend. Not the beta, but the full game. Rocket League, also a game that was very, very much downloaded on PlayStation, can now be downloaded everywhere. Not now, but will soon be able to be downloaded everywhere. Free to play. As ads rumoured, it will be free to play before the end of summer. It will be moving from Steam to Epic, and that move to Epic will allow it to be free to play, including cross-platform, and you won't need PS Plus or Switch Online to play it across devices either. You can just play it free to play online without the need of any of that. Ubisoft's The Division is also free to play. You can download and keep on PC if you download it from Uplay before the 8th of September. And the final stories we've just run through there. No Man's Sky's devs are working on a new game that's huge and ambitious and very, very much like No Man's Sky, but not a sequel-ish kind of thing. And that is it. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us in the show today. We'll be back with another episode of The Scoop tomorrow. Some PUBG follows this now, so if anyone's want to see someone mediocre at games but try bashing noobs, then I'll try my best to satisfy your needs. So feel free to stick around for that. After the Scoop tomorrow, we will have the final Masters of the League of the week. So if you want to see some press content as well, that will be taking place from around 12 noon-ish tomorrow. But before we disappear for all that stuff, Bib, is there anything you want to add?
There always is, Graham. There always is.
Oh,
Two things, actually. So the first thing is, if you are in the PGA ICU Clubhouse, it starts today, or it's already started. It is commenced. So you've got 4 days to play in this tournament. No cheating bastards. I will find out. Believe me, I will find out, and you will be kicked out. I'm not having it again. So yeah, that starts today. You have until Sunday to get your 4 rounds done. It is on pro difficulty, so the days of 43 under are well and truly gone. You'll be very lucky to be able to get 10 under in this overall. So good luck to everyone that's playing in that. Secondly, if you are interested in supplying us with any news articles, then do feel free to join us by doing 2 things. One, going over to our social media platforms, which is Ice Cream Uploads across absolutely everything. The second thing, join our Discord. You'll be invited to be involved in... What the fuck's that? My PC's making noises. Forget about that. Yeah, you can join over our Discord. You'll be involved in, if you have got Twitch and you are a subscriber to us, you'll be able to get involved in our giveaway, which I think ends on Monday, doesn't it?
It does. So the loot drop, just quick thanks to Ads for dropping the socials in the chat. I was just about to do it and he beat me to it. You went the first thing, I went 1, and I was just about to start typing and I saw it all dropping into the chat. So exclamation mark socials. If you ever wondered, it gives you our social links in chat. Exclamation mark Discord, which I've just typed in, gives you access to our Discord. And exclamation mark loot drop will give you a link to a Twitter thread where we describe what the loot drop is. So the loot drop is anyone that is a subscriber to Ice Cream Uploads. If you are a sub tier 1, 2, 3, or Prime, then you get entered into our giveaway. All you have to do is link your Twitch, your Discord, and be a part of our Discord. And then that way you can win a prize. And Monday's prize will be one of these hats that both me and Babe are rocking. You get to choose the style that you'd like: flat peak, snapback, curved peak baseball cap, or the blue and white Dodger style. So yeah. Choices. Anyway, Babe, cut you off. I cut you off mid-flow.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. So all of that's out the way. If you want to get involved, all you need to do is just drop in the link to the article, add your thoughts and impressions. We will then give our thoughts and impressions the very next day, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
It will be at 10 a.m.
Ish.
Actually, probably more like 10 a.m. because,
Yeah.
early mornings and schoolings and stuff like that. But yeah, so be here for more like 10, less like 11.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. 10 a.m.-ish. 10 a.m.-ish. But yeah, that's it. We are going to disappear. I will be back shortly with some PUBG content, so feel free to stick around for that. Jump in for some games if you want. It's free to play. Download it on PlayStation, and I'll see you there. Nice. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day. Stay frosty.
Stay frosty.